Hello to all you patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 458 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one live podcast in Canada, recorded September 15th, 2025.
We need your help to support the Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode. Show you're not a communist. Buy a CPP t-shirt for just $24.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com homepage and follow the link on the right.
That brings us to our favorite segment, What Are We Drinking? And one thing that you've done off the Patriot Challenge. Pierre, what are you drinking?
As per normal SOP, 40 Creek and Pepsi tonight. Patriot Challenge, I'm drinking my waters. Haven't been doing much of the exercise stuff, even regular walks and rucks and everything lately. So hopefully to get back on that bandwagon. Um, Working on my interpersonal skills.
That's always good.
Yeah. So I had to do chit chats with strangers and everything. Thankfully, so far it's all been virtual. Applications going out and interviews and this and that. So seems to be going good so far. People that have called back. So I guess I'm doing something right. I'm assuming
Well,
they don't know about this podcast yet.
that's good. That's good. There's if there's one thing we have learned in the last few days is that sometimes the things that you say on the internet can get you fired.
Ooh.
Well,
What about you, Gavin?
I am drinking Crown Royal and Diet Pepsi this evening. I have run out of Signal Hill and I haven't had a chance to run to the liquor store to pick up a new bottle. So Crown Royal it is. I don't know if that makes me more or less Canadian, given the fiasco with
Uh,
Doug Ford and pouring one out for his
fuck.
homies or something. I'm not really sure. But either way, that's what I'm drinking, and it's fucking delicious.
There you go.
Patriot Challenge, definitely been drinking the waters at least for the last little bit because it's still been kind of hot. And for most of last week, I was up at the base because we were shooting and running National Service Conditions Championship.
Nice.
So practiced some shooting. Um, my team, the RCMI team, came in fourth out of
Nice.
13 teams. Um, we beat out two of the Bruce nuclear power response teams. Oddly enough, they had three teams. The team that did really well was their management team that isn't issued guns anymore. So they did better than the other two teams that are on like the active, like defending the nuclear power plant. Not that those teams did badly, because they
No,
were
I mean,
like fifth and sixth. So like
yeah.
they did well, but the managers did really well. And in fact, the one manager won the whole thing. And he was shooting
Damn.
in my lane and fucking phenomenal. Like
Nice.
um so service pistol, as I'm sure you've heard us spurg out on several times, is like bullseye shooting, but slightly more complicated. And you do it over 2 days. And so day one is the set of matches. Day two is the exact same set of matches, just faster and or further back. Um, and then you combine the scores for those and get your winner. And then like the team is the combined scores of, your
Yeah.
team and all that. So pretty straightforward. But you fire, I don't know, just under 200 rounds a day. He had 190 V-bulls, so bullseyes, out
Damn.
of like, so
200?
that's
Like,
so like that's like almost like every other shot is, like a bullseye. Like
oh, over
over
the
the
two
two
days, so
days.
190 out of 400.
Yeah.
Damn. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a reason why this guy won. He is also the guy that won it in 2019 as well. So kudos to him for keeping his shooting skills
Nice.
sharp, over the
Yep.
last 6, 7 years or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
Um,
Happy he's not in Nova Scotia where he still has the use of a shooting range.
yeah. Well, so the funny thing we've learned, the Bruce Nuclear guys, they have their own 300-yard range on the property.
Yeah, so uh, I just I don't want to say surprises me, but some people just get comfortable,
Yeah,
right? If you've got a gun and oh, I do my quals and this and that, right? Like, so if you do certain things for a living, sometimes doing them
yeah,
as something becomes
yeah.
overabundant because it's part of your job, where management, because they're so disconnected from it, that might be their version of going golfing, where the guys that have guns and do stuff all the time
Well, I think
actually go
that's
golfing.
yeah. I think that that might be a little bit of what it is, but I mean, this. I mean, they were all great shooters. They were all great people. It was a lot of fun running it. The team that did win, you
Yeah.
may recognize some of them because they were on this podcast. So Dave and
Uh,
Andrew, amongst two others, were on the winning team for that.
nice.
So kudos to
Good for them.
them. Yeah, the second place overall shooter uh, was on that team as well. And I believe you have met Bruce, shooting
Bruce.
PR maybe. Older gentleman, our lawyer friend. Anyways, Bruce was the guy that came in second overall. And
I,
then
I mean, probably, I probably met
I think
Bruce. I
you met
just,
him at
yeah,
PR, yeah, because he
yeah,
was
probably.
just getting into it. But he was the second place, and then the
Nice.
second place Irons was one of the guys on my team. First place
Nice.
Irons was one of the guys on the management of Bruce Power team. So like they had
Jeez.
like the first and like fourth place, and then the winning team had like second, third, and fifth or what, but it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. And then PR and then service rifle and all of the things. So it was a lot of work and talking to people and running ranges for 4 days in a row and getting up early. But yes, drinking all of the water. And the problem was there too, helping us
Yeah.
run things. So it was good to see him
Nice.
and see all of the people and our friends on some of the other podcasts. Random Dave was there. I got to work a lot with Random Dave. He was running the butts while I was running the line. So there were all
Nice.
kinds of butts jokes. And for anyone that is curious, Dave does the best butt service. You can quote me on that. But it was a lot of
That's
fun.
key. That's key
Yeah.
for a lot of competitions, quality butt service
Yeah,
on
exactly.
on PR. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
can't complain.
the butts run the match,
Hmm.
and it's always good to just make butt jokes. Um,
Yep.
yeah. So that was all the things that I did. And now I'm back and yeah, it's a lot of work, but a lot of fun. On
Nice.
to, well, I guess I should do the other thing here. Upcoming events, the Army Run. It's like going on like right now. It's too late to sign up, so you should have already done that if you're doing it. Anyone that's doing it, good luck. On to the news.
Go.
Um, Start with a sad one. Robert Munch, Canadian children's author, approved for medical assistance in dying. I get it. He was diagnosed with dementia a while ago and put in an application, and they have approved his application, although he doesn't have a specific date and time booked yet, because this is the thing that I find, I mean, it's a good thing, but it's also a strange thing. In order to do the whole MAID thing, once you have been approved, you have to be of sound mind in order to give consent to death. Totally makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Although, why is it then that like some of the things that you can get it for are like
Dementia.
mental health problems and dementia? Like, so this is
Yeah.
like the whole
Dementia,
point.
Alzheimer's. Like,
Yeah, like the
what's the
whole
process?
like I get it because and I'm all for like people not suffering, right? Like
Yeah.
it's
A
your
hundred,
life,
a
it's
hundred
your
percent.
choice. They should like, especially if you have some crazy debilitating thing where you're gonna suffer and be in pain and quality of
Yeah.
life is gonna be almost zero. A
Yeah.
100% you should be able to do this. That
Yes.
but when it's this, what happens if you like you've been approved and now you've waited too long and they've determined that you are no longer of sound mind, so you can't? Then why did they approve? And then to do this, you now have to give consent before you get to the point. So
Yeah.
it's very strange.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
I
sure.
mean, it's not one of those where it's just like, well, for the next 2 weeks, you'll be okay. But like 2 weeks from now is when your mind is going to start
Yeah,
deteriorating or whatever, or
it's
you're going to lose bodily functions
it's
or
when it's a
all these things.
physical thing, like I have cancer and my quality of life and my physicality is there, but my
Yeah,
brain, it's easy, right?
yeah,
Easier, right? Your
yeah,
brain is there. You can make those choices when you're at the point where like you've just had enough. But
yeah,
how do you like that's the thing that's confusing about this. And it's just sad because it's Robert Munsch, who, for those
yeah.
of you that live under a rock and don't know, like wrote all of the books, like the Paper Bag Princess, I Love You Forever, Angela's Airplane, like I Have to Go Pee, like all of the books from your
Yeah,
childhood. This is just
yeah,
sad. Like
yeah.
it's
I
sad. It's
mean,
gonna be a sad day when he dies. This is gonna make it that much sadder.
yeah, and I mean, so I'm curious of okay, he's been approved and everything. Like, I don't think this article says like how long is the application process. Like, I'd
Yeah,
hate like, do you have to be sound of mind and oh, it's starting to get bad. You put an application in and it goes through government bureaucracy. So is it, a year process and 2 months prior to them saying fine, you're not of sound mind.
yeah,
So I'm not saying we should speed through this, but like depending on what it is, not saying that someone that's dying of cancer should wait longer, but yeah, I'm just hoping that this is kind of not rushed through, but isn't what government normally does. And I'm hoping it works out for him if this is what he's chosen. I support it.
yeah,
Don't want to do any suffering or be a burden on people and blah blah blah. So you can
yeah,
go out how you want. I'm in 100% support.
yeah.
So yeah,
It'll just be sad. It's like
yeah,
a Canadian legend, even though he was, originally born in America, but wrote all of his books up here. So
yeah.
he's Canadian, eh?
He's Canadian enough, eh?
Yeah. Um, we're gonna try and get through a couple of shitty, sad-ish or disappointing ones. I mean, they're all disappointing. Let's be honest. It's Canada.
They're all
It's
Canadian.
Canada. It's Canada, and everything is terrible. Um, this one is particularly terrible, though. Man sleeping on bench in Nathan Phillips Square killed an unprovoked attack by a 12-year-old boy and another man.
and
So,
and the unprovoked is in quotations
yes,
according in this article. We can't
yes,
forget that because I find that's
yeah.
very important.
So this just happened the other evening. A 12-year-old boy and 20-year-old man have been charged in a series of violent, unprovoked attacks targeting vulnerable members of the city, including one that left a 62-year-old man dead. So, August 31, Toronto downtown core, Yonge and Dundas, there was an assault where someone that was homeless got smashed with a hammer. They ran away. There was another attack with a hammer. The other gentleman then ended up getting medical attention. The suspects continued to flee from Yonge and Dundas towards Nathan Phillips Square, so towards the city hall, where they attacked another person. This is the person that ultimately died in the hospital as a result of their wounds. They then assaulted somebody else and stole their phone and their wallet or something, and then finally another person, all in the span of like 2.5 hours, traveling from one area to the next a few blocks away. So, like, five assaults in 2.5 hours by this 12-year-old boy and a 20-year-old man.
Yeah,
And all of these people seem to be elderly, like in their 60s, 70s, and homeless
yeah.
or just old. So, they also
Or
used a weird term here, underhoused male, rather than homeless, because apparently homeless is not kosher anymore, I guess.
yeah, under house. That's the first time I've seen this.
Yeah. And
Under
like,
house.
this is all under the backdrop of like the gun buyback being rolled out and all of this and everything else. And here you have two crazy people, one of them being a child, running around the city and hitting people with hammers.
So does that mean there's going to be a buyback program for my hammer sitting over
Well,
here
I'm
for them
like I'm
doing
so
renos?
glad that the government is taking time to make the streets safe by wasting billions of dollars going after statistically the most law-abiding and daily vetted people. Like I don't want to
Yes.
make light of any of this because this is absolutely disgusting and horrible.
Hmm.
But
Absolutely.
like, come on.
Yeah. So you still having your gun, you still being able to shoot your AR-15 at
Yeah.
service rifle that you were at last week would not have made this situation worse or better. It,
No, it would have had
like it would have
zero
not
impact
affected.
on
Yeah,
it.
zero impact, right?
Yeah.
You lawfully purchased it, you lawfully stored it, you decided to play by the rules, you pay to play by the rules, you
Yeah.
get all your certifications, blah blah blah, and it just degens being degens. I I'm very curious. I didn't read the whole article, but like, do they say if the 12 and 20-year-old are related? Because like that just seems like
So,
a crazy age gap.
well, and so that's the 20-year-old is Isaiah Byers. We normally like to name names on this, but like I'm going to because they're local-ish. See if you know this person, they're a piece of shit. Um, and a 12-year-old boy who cannot be identified as per for the provisions of the Youth Criminal Justice Act. But if I had to guess,
Probably has the same last name.
I would very much so guess that they are brothers or cousins.
Hmm.
That would be like they
Right.
they
If
must be family of some kind. Again, this is totally assuming things, so we could
yeah,
totally be wrong, but that
yeah,
would be super weird. Some 20-year-old dude hanging out with some random 12-year-old.
right.
I would have
And
other questions if that was the
yeah,
case.
right. And maybe that's the whole reason. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, fine, we can't figure out the names, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah, if they're not related, whether brother, sister, cousin,
yeah,
second, just even a longtime
yeah,
family friend. Like we've all, I introduce my daughter to good friends as uncles, even though they're not related and their kids are cousins. But if there's not like a crazy family tie of some sort there, I have way bigger questions of why a 20-year-old and a 12-year-old are running around at five
yeah,
o'clock in the morning with a hammer.
yeah. And
So,
like, this is just sort of highlighting here that like government is paying all this attention to law-abiding gun owners. Meanwhile, like youth violence and gun crime are running crazy, Some would
yeah,
say we're in the Wild West.
yeah, depending on
Our
which
safety minister
area you
says that we're
lift.
not. This is Canada. And it's like, well, maybe you should look at that again because it certainly seems a hell of a lot like the Wild West,
Yeah.
you know. And all while this is happening, there was like another shooting not far away with another young boy. Yeah, another murder in downtown Toronto where a 12-year-old has been charged. Like, the
12 or
police have,
16.
yeah, yeah, no, another murder where a 12-year-old boy has been charged. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, because they also have something about a 16-year-old being
Yeah.
charged
Yeah.
with the shooting of an 8-year-old. So like
Yeah.
that's bad. We're on the same article, and
Yeah.
there's two references, and we're
Yeah,
trying to contradict each other.
there are three children
Involved.
that have been arrested for violent
Hmm.
crime. Children. Like
Children.
not like young like 12 years old. Like
Yeah,
they don't
like
at 12 you don't even have the word teen in your age yet.
yeah, like 16. Like
That's a young
we might.
adult.
Yeah, I mean,
Like if
according
you're
to how
old
the
enough
law
to
is written.
if you're old enough to consent to have your penis cut off, you're old enough to be tried as an adult,
Well, the
in my
12-year-old's
opinion.
an adult
But like
then, but
yeah, 16 is still a kid and should be treated as a kid, except in this instance where I think even the 12-year-old should be tried as an adult because come on, even a 12-year-old knows that you don't do this, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like that's insane. But like
yeah,
Toronto police have seized more than 400 guns and have arrested more than a dozen youths in relation to homicide in the city.
right.
I
And
bet all of those guns are guns that were not ever legal at one point. I am 100% sure that all of those guns are illegally in the country and are not any way traceable to anyone
nope,
law abiding.
nope. All my guns are accounted for.
Yeah. But like this is just like a decade of the Liberal Party being in power in this country, and this is what is happening.
Yep.
Like nothing is getting better, everything is getting worse. This is a complete collapse of like just common decency and family values and the family unit. This is what happens when that
Careful with
happens.
all these words. Careful with all these words.
I mean, yes, but also if we don't call it out,
Yeah. No, I 100% agree, right? Like the
like
complete deterioration of the nuclear family. We've made a system so dependent and beneficial for broken homes. Um,
well,
whether it be on both parties, one party, there's
oh,
a one party consent for breaking up a family, right? Someone wants to leave, the other person can't force the person to leave. So even if someone does want to do something good and one of the
yeah.
parties says nope, and now stuck paying child support, they're stuck on the system, they're raising fucking four kids,
Oh, I
five
know
different
it.
dads, and this is what we end up with, right? Like people with
Yeah, it's insane.
uh yeah, like
Like pure insanity. Like
yeah,
this is like I get it. There's always going to be a certain percentage of the
yeah,
population that just like can't behave themselves for whatever
yeah,
reason. But
yeah,
this is just getting out of control. Like, and you've got,
absolutely.
okay, so the 20-year-old may influence the 12-year-old.
Yeah,
I'd say that is very likely.
yeah,
But where are the parents? Where are the people that did this? Like, what has happened to this? And I think
yeah.
I saw something somewhere in here that like they'd already been in trouble before. So like
Which
they're
one, the 20 or 12-year-old at this
both
point?
of them.
Okay.
Or one of the other like kids that it talks in the article about was also like already in trouble or something. So like here you having like not just like
Repeat offenders at young ages.
yeah, like a 30-year-old or whatever that like murdered someone a decade ago and has now done it again after they've got out. You have children that have received no punishment whatsoever for the horrible thing that they have done, that they are still children when they go and commit the next horrible. Like, come on.
Yeah,
What kind of weird, screwed up place is this? Like, this is disgusting. And yeah, a total
yeah,
collapse of just the community and the family unit and all of the
yeah.
things that should be in place to help prevent this. Like, you'll never get rid of it completely, but
Oh, but I have more like as you were saying, like I have more questions about how a 12-year-old was convinced of this. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm the best parent. I'm by far one of the weirdest, and I have lots of flaws. But I'm fairly confident that nobody could convince my daughter to go take a hammer and smash homeless people at 5 o'clock in the morning.
yeah. I mean, to be
Because
fair though, trying to convince a 12-year-old to get up that early in the morning is pretty sorry, that is a
yeah,
terrible joke, but I had to. But
yeah, no,
like,
it is right. Like, I mean,
but
they might
yeah,
not have gone to bed,
and
right? Like, does the kid have TikTok?
yeah,
You're getting desensitized to way too much on all the socialist medias,
yeah,
TikTok,
and
Instagram, Facebook.
yeah, and having met your child, while you and your other half may not be perfect, you have done a pretty darn good job. Your kid is
Yes,
fairly well adjusted. I mean, every
yeah,
kid is weird because they're kids and they do weird things, and you're just
yeah.
like,
Just in general, you're like, what the fuck? But yeah,
okay, great, but that's normal. This is
yeah,
not normal by any
no,
means, right? Like,
no,
yeah, like everyone's gonna screw their kid up a little. That's sort of just how that happens. It adds character. But
yes,
this is like, no, this is a big problem. And if this is
yeah,
happening more and more and more and more,
yeah,
that's that's crazy.
yeah. It's it's got me questioning a lot.
Yeah, I I question this entire city, country, just everything. Like how can they think that coming after us when this is happening is a good use of resources and everything? Like the money
Yeah,
that they're spending on this, they could put to like youth
anything.
programs that are
Yeah,
proven
right.
to do something.
Like I've I've contemplated, sorry, you know, helping out the youths. Um, I'm not a fan of like small kids, but like when kids get to the age of my
Yeah.
daughter now, I can relate a lot more. You know, you can joke a little bit more, you can throw a swear
Well,
word, and you let
what?
them do it. You know, like you can build that trust. You know, like a 5-year-old, like I don't have much interest in a 5-year-old. You know, like no, I don't want to do Baby Shark again and all that stuff. But like
Yeah.
when you start getting to those ages, you know, 10
Yeah.
and up, like, hey, what do you want to go do? Let's go for a walk. Like, hey, come
Yeah.
over. I've got a lawnmower that doesn't start.
Yeah.
Let's figure out how to fix it. We might have to
Yeah.
order parts, but we can go over that.
We could
Or,
diagnose it and figure it
yeah,
out, and like, yeah,
or
you could
come,
start treating them like little adults. Like,
yeah, right? Or, hey, consent with the parents. You be extra careful. Like, do you want to
yeah.
go shooting? You know?
Yeah.
Because Call of Duty recoil is way different. Like, oh, you
Yeah.
think you're big? Yeah, no problem. Take this 30-06 and pop that
Yeah.
off and let me know how you feel there, kid. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like doing things like that. But I'm like, I'm just I've met a lot of parents from the school that
Well,
my kid goes
and
to, and I'm just like, it's not worth. Well, I shouldn't say it's not worth. I'm like, as it stands right now, I don't have the patience for it.
all that, and
But
I
we have
think
to have something.
part of the problem also is that like I don't know if there's any more of them or we're just more aware of them or people are more just paranoid, but like the creeper factor, nobody
Yeah,
wants to be the creeper, right? So like even if your
yeah,
intentions are pure, you may not want to do things like that because you will get looked upon as if you're some sort of pedo,
yeah,
even if
yeah.
you're
Like I'm not gonna
not,
walk up and be like, "Hey, do you mind if I take your kid shooting?" Like,
right?
no,
Like,
but like, no,
yeah,
but
because
like
that would be super
we,
weird. And right, like rightly so, like parents should be like, okay, that was weird.
yeah. But taken into the programs, like they've got the what, big sister or big
Yeah,
brother, big sister thing. Like it's an established thing, it's whatever. I mean, that's up for debate if it's a
yeah,
good system. And I'm like, I
but
would
at
like
least
to
there's
try
some.
and figure out how to get something like that involved in communities that hopefully, if we just prevent this from happening to, well,
Yeah,
obviously we never want this to happen, but if we can take, one kid out of
yeah.
this weird scenario of how they got convinced to do that, it's just going to be better
Well,
for
exactly.
for
Like
everybody.
with the left always likes to use the if it just saves one life
Hmm.
excuse. Well, like if it just helps one kid,
Yeah,
right? Like
right. And,
why
and
can't
at the end of
we?
the day, right, that can save it. That can turn them away from drugs. You get
Yeah,
them addicted to shooting, they're never going to have money for drugs. I don't
yeah,
do drugs, and I don't have enough money for all the gun parts I want. Like,
yeah.
um, teaches them many things, right? I mean, Scouts Girl Guides. I mean, that's up for debate if that's a good idea. You should probably double
It,
check the leaders.
it
There's cadet programs.
Yeah,
I
but
did cadets.
all of those things, even if some of them might be debatable, are better than
Or
your 12-year-old running around at 5 o'clock in the
uh,
morning hitting people with hammers for no reason.
well, I mean, that's up for debate if your 12-year-old is being molested by
Well,
someone.
yeah,
That's
aside from
like,
that,
yeah, yeah, like, okay, let's take
as
that
long as
extreme scenario.
as long as nothing is happening to your kid negatively, all of
Yes.
those things are better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Like first aid, safety
yeah.
with the knife, life skills, camping, how to build a shelter, how to make a fire, how to look for tracks, all these things. I did
Or like
cadets. I like,
going and playing freaking soccer, like
yeah,
like
go play soccer,
yeah,
go to the beach and swim. You know
yeah.
what? Go
Read
take
a
up
book.
paintballing and airsofting.
Yeah.
Like go do that
Go do
compared to
an
go.
art class. Like there's so many things they could be doing that
Yeah,
this money that they're spending coming after us could be spent on to provide this for kids for free.
yeah, right. And I would be a little less upset paying taxes if there were programs out
Yeah.
like that,
Absolutely.
right? Because all the programs we just discussed all cost money.
Yeah.
Cadets are
Well,
free,
and
so
again,
they're subsidized.
I don't want to assume,
Yeah,
but I would assume that the people involved in this are not from like a higher income bracket. I'm going
yeah,
to assume that they are from a lower income bracket where their family couldn't afford to put them in these programs. So again, you wouldn't even have to pay for all of the kids, just
Yeah.
for the ones that have the families that can't afford this.
So, and the crazy part is every program we've talked about has subsidized. So
Yeah.
that if you are part of a low income, um, my daughter right now is in a thing of Girl Guides where they do more extravagant camping. So like they'll go camping in the middle of winter and like build a snow shelter or the TP tents and like run propane or whatever. And they're like, well, we don't expect you to buy the -40, you know, sleeping bag, but
Yeah.
we, they fundraise, they've done this, they've done that, that they're like, it's here for you to use. So they've all got subsidized, even if you don't do the fancy stuff like that. You can apply for subsidized. You just say like, "Hey, I'm low income, this that." Oh, instead of it being $200, you might be able to get it for free. It might be $40 for the year. Most of those programs are all involved of parents. Like if you can't get your kid there because you're doing this or whatever, there's always ways of getting something. But it's just the stigmatism next to many things of well, there's been bad stories about Scouts, Girl Guides,
Yeah.
all these programs that it, yes, it takes away from the program, but you can't, a few spoiled apples doesn't mean the tree doesn't grow good things.
Well,
You
exactly,
know,
right?
I
Yeah.
I've done all of the programs and nobody has ever touched me, and I've learned some really good skills at a very young age that I still use to these days.
Yeah.
And will use for a very long time. So you can't dismiss it. Some people don't think it's cool and this, that, and uh, but I don't know. It'd just be nice to try and figure out how to make a communal program for something. Um,
Well, exactly, right.
and I'm not saying cut the red tape out, but cut some of the red tape out where it's just like, hey, let's just scratch each other's backs. Like I I offer this, but I don't put up with no shit from your kid. I'm not gonna hit your kid, but I'll tell him to go fucking pound
Well,
sand and
but
send
but
him
but
home.
this is where like we need to go back to having a community, because when you
Yeah,
have a community, that stuff happens, right? Like the
yeah,
weirdos get weeded out pretty quick.
no,
And it's like, yeah, no, that guy's a creeper, so no one leave your kids with that guy and let's run him out of town. And then
yeah,
like if you're just like a normal person that's willing to like teach people things and teach
yeah,
kids things, they'll find their way to you, right? And it'll be
yeah,
a normal thing. And but yeah, that's we
yeah,
need to get away from this nonsense and get back to building communities that are actually
yeah. Building your
communities.
tribes.
Yeah. And like the government seems obsessed with these 15-minute cities, which is great because like in a way that's like, okay, this is my community, and that's sort of like
Yeah,
how cities started was like, well, we need to have everything close by because people don't have cars and we walk.
yeah,
And then it like blew up, and now you have like mega cities where there'll be like neighborhoods where there's nothing but houses, which is not where we need to be either, but we're like trying to like bring everyone in, but
yeah. But
still
can I?
not build the community to go along with it. Like
Yeah,
we're doing the right thing or almost the right thing, but for
yeah,
like the completely wrong reasons. And we're
yeah. Can
forgetting the important part of it, which is the community.
yeah, can I
Like,
pick the people that are in my 50-minute city? Because I guarantee
yeah.
you, a lot of people that'll end up there are not going to be welcomed. Like, like,
Yeah. And that way, if they do decide to lock us into the 15-minute city, like at least it'll be a party, and or, we'll be able to get out of it. But
yeah, whichever which way. But yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, loose morals and
Yeah.
shitty parenting is what I have to say about
Yeah.
without all the info because we can't get whether they're. I mean, even if they're a cousin or a brother,
Yeah.
still, I
Wow.
still stand by my statement of shitty parenting and loose morals.
Yeah. Well, speaking of loose morals, Toronto School Board chair told to return more than $6,700 worth of electronics office items that were paid by taxpayers.
Oh,
So, Ontario's education minister has instructed the Toronto Catholic School Board chair to return more than $6,700 worth of office and personal electronic devices that were purchased using board funds. So in a letter penned to Marcus D. Domenico on Monday, um, the chair has recently become aware of these items he purchased during his tenure as a trustee. Um, some of these things include,
There's
let's see
61
here.
items on this list.
Yeah,
61 items.
yeah, they've been flagged in the following categories: headphones and audio, hard drives, phone accessories, laptop sleeves and bags, chargers, cameras and accessories, projectors and screens, and TV wall mounts, office equipment, and iPad and Apple accessories. Some of the pricier items include an 11-inch iPad Air, an IKEA desk, Apple AirPod Pro with charging case, a MacBook Pro leather sleeve, a 4K projector, and a 100-inch 4K fixed frame projector screen.
So I have way more
And
questions.
and two prepaid Europe SIM cards and an Apple Watch band and lower back padded seat cushion and a ring light with tripod stand.
That's for his OnlyFans. He can keep it.
Yeah.
But why is the MacBook Pro, sorry, leather sleeve
So it's
almost
literally
$300?
because it's a MacBook, like an Apple product, and it's leather. So it's a
Like,
$300 sleeve to protect
wow.
his MacBook. Um, he's been asked to return all of these things and scrub all passwords from the devices. There are also apparently several additional purchases where the itemized receipts were not included or the itemized detail has curiously been removed.
Oh,
He's also bought at least 30 cell phone screen protectors and has been asked to
uh,
return all unused ones. And if he is unable to provide any of these, they want to know um, the date, disposition, and the authorization under which he was able to dispose of these things, along with the receipts.
so the screen protectors I can understand because it's almost impossible to find a screen protector that's not tempered glass.
Yeah.
Like if you drop it the wrong way and it cracks, like I had
Yes.
one where I'm like I pretty much sliced my thumb open because it was like tempered glass, and I was like, I looked and I was
30
like,
of
I don't
them
know,
seems excessive. Like, how often does
yeah,
this guy
yeah. I
drop his
mean,
phone?
yes, 30 does seem excessive, but I will say, okay, fine, having more than one because I
They
was
come in
think I
like
was
a
on the
three
like
pack or, like, yeah.
yeah, but I was on like the ninth page of Amazon before I found a screen protector that wasn't tempered glass, right? It was
Yeah.
like a heavy duty plastic polymer something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, finally, because yeah, I hate the tempered glass. Oh, it
Yes,
looks
because
nice
they
and everything.
crack.
Yeah,
They
they
crack
crack very
fairly
easy.
easily. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yes, 30 seems very fucking excessive. Um,
Yeah.
but
And apparently, this guy does not have an office. So why the fuck does he need any of this stuff?
so what do you mean? Like he doesn't have an office at home?
Yeah, well, like in general, like he's a trustee, so he's there to make decisions, and apparently because it's the Catholic school board and everything, his trusteeship basically is only supposed to coincide with denominational stuff, so like the religious side of things.
Yeah.
So he's sort of there as like a spiritual guidance for the board kind of a thing, it sounds like. So he has no real office or anything. So why would he need to like buy a desk and like he doesn't.
No, I mean, not having an office, depending how much work is involved, right?
Sure.
Just because you
Like
don't
they're,
have an
they're
office, if you're sitting at a desk for, or you need somewhere to
yes.
work for 20 hours a week, a
Eh,
space that's not
yes.
another space would be nice.
But
So,
I don't disagree with you. But
but
and I mean the problem makes a good point here. Like, 6K or whatever is still less than a one night hotel stay for a liberal minister, which is fair. But like there's been a lot of mismanagement, it seems, especially in some of these school boards, this being one of them. And in a statement from this guy, he's saying that, like, you know, there's a lot of underfunding going on in the thing, and them coming after me is just a distraction. It's like, well, yeah, but that's $6,700 in additional funding that could have gone out to anything. So if you
Yes.
didn't like spend it on shit that didn't need to get spent on, so yes, in the grand scheme, when you look at like an entire school board, that's really not a lot of money. Even like
Yeah.
one school is probably unwhole, but like if this guy's doing it, who else is doing it? And then that starts to add up.
Yeah. Right. Like, and one thing he said, he'd like to reimburse them for an iPhone power cord, which cost $12.42 7 years
Yeah,
ago. But the government won't explain the underfunding education at my board of 175 million over the same period.
yeah,
So
he's
fine,
got a
cut
point.
cut the $7,000 check, and
Yeah,
okay, I coughed it up. Now you cough up, which
well,
won't
exactly,
happen.
right?
But
But that's the
uh,
thing. Like, if if
yeah,
this guy was only in for so long and it's one guy and it was 7 grand, if
yeah,
everyone else accounted for all of the dumb things that they bought, they shouldn't have bought, what does that add up? And how much of that underfunding would that cover?
yeah.
Because
Probably not all of it, but it'd at
but
least
some
be
of
a
it,
smaller
it'd be
number.
some of it,
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
right?
I mean,
Also, when you have trustee in the name, you should be trustworthy, but apparently not.
yes. Yeah, apparently
One would
that's
especially
complicated.
think it like a Catholic school.
Yeah, that's not very Christian-like.
Yeah, lying and shit.
Uh,
Jesus would be very angry.
yeah,
Yeah, like just don't be shitty, man. Like, yeah, if you need like a new cord because yours died and you've got to type up a thing, absolutely, that is a legitimate expense.
yeah.
But
But
if you
also,
don't have an office and you're not giving presentations, why do you need a projector? You don't.
yes,
Stop. And why do you need a $300 sleeve?
yeah, for the $1,000 fucking iPad,
Yeah. Ugh.
like, and fucking like almost $500 for the fucking the
Yeah.
earbuds and the charger.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have any Apple products, so like that might be why I'm like stunned by these prices. But
Well,
like,
that might be why you don't have them, is
yeah,
because
yeah,
they're
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, that might be. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like almost $500 for the earbuds and like a charger. I was like, oh, I got a good set.
Yeah.
Like a case charges the things one in each ear. I was like, they pair
Yeah.
with anything for
Well,
$120,
yeah, a
which was
lot
still a
less
little
money.
rich in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Well, some more overspending here for you. Um, the 2025 snap federal election cost approximately $570 million.
I'm trying to figure out how.
Apparently, though, that's more or less in line with what it cost for the last one. So, like, at least this is like one thing that like inflation hasn't totally fucked and blown
Yeah,
out of proportion. So I guess that's good, but that still seems like an awful lot of money. Like,
for the quality of service we got. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of issues with this last election here. Um, Apparently there were 19.8 million votes cast. 8.7 million of them were cast in the early advance polls. So roughly 44%, which is a big shift. But of those, it seems like a lot of those were not counted.
ah,
I don't have numbers on that, but I know that there were a bunch of like early ballots that were like received on time but did not get counted. So there is a like a cutoff time where like even if you like put it in the mail early or dropped it off or whatever, but it never got to where it needs to get counted on time, like it doesn't count because there has to be like a cutoff.
yeah.
But if we're going to be spending $570 million, shouldn't a lot of these problems like go away or be like non-existent? I mean,
Yes.
it's never going to be perfect. I get it.
Right. And especially because like, if you send something out, you're probably going to Canada Post, which is like the shittiest postal service. But there's normally a stamp of like the day that you brought it in. So let's say the date
Yeah,
is the cutoff is the 11th and it's got a stamp of the 10th on it. But
yeah,
it's from Skidamagoo, middle of buttfuck nowhere, and the postal service is shitty up there. So it got there like a day after you were expecting it to get there. But I'm like,
yeah.
well, technically he submitted it on time. That should count.
Not, yeah, but like there's people that get paid in order to make sure that all of these things run smoothly, and then there's a bunch of people that volunteer. So
Yeah.
again, why does it cost so much? I mean, I guess
Yeah.
they have to like rent the use of some spaces or whatever, but that still seems ridiculous because a lot of those are just like
Community halls.
community centers or schools or something where it's like,
Yeah. And if it's like if they want an election or whatever, I have a feeling.
yeah,
I mean,
I don't know, it
so
just
they should just mandate that you can only go to Catholic schools and they can charge
yeah.
whatever and they can make up the 175 million they were under budget
Yeah, there you
two
go.
7 years ago,
Here we
right?
are solving
like
problems. Yeah.
like and I mean, we'd still, I mean, if we got to spend that much, okay, let's fund the school that's for some reason under budget, but
Yeah.
that's a whole different thing. But yeah, I I'd love to have a breakdown of this 570, but I have a feeling it would just enrage me more.
Well, I just did some quick math here. It's basically costing us almost $29 a vote. But realize that like only like half of the voting population actually votes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so like looking at it that way, it's not that bad, right?
no, but like it
What,
still
what
seems excessive. Like just
I mean, yeah, but what
volunteer
does
your
it cost
fucking
to
time for democracy, people.
yeah,
Stop
but what
wasting our tax dollars.
but what does it cost to send something out and then send it back?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know. It just seems high,
it it
but
it does, but at $29 a person doesn't sound as bad as 570 million.
no, it doesn't. But it just still
But
like yeah,
it's still
just
very
still
high
yeah,
because I already paid taxes money to
yeah,
where I live. I pay my land taxes, and then you send something to where I reside, and then you predict where I go. So I spend my own gas money. Thankfully, most
yeah,
places will accommodate, not having to take time off work specifically, but accommodate for you to be able to vote. But if I was at work and that voting window is weird, I got to leave my work, take my personal time, my vehicle, my gas, everything, go somewhere, go vote, and then go back to work to clock in. Like we're
yeah,
$29 a person for tax dollars, but not including all the tax money you've already put into it by going to vote.
yeah. Well, sort of related to elections, at least the people that have been elected finally went back to work today.
Ah,
This is also the first
brace
time,
yourself.
yeah, the first time that Carney and Poliver have been in the house together because when Carney was put in, he was not allowed in the house because he was not elected at the time, despite being the prime minister.
Yes,
And then
Polyev. Yeah.
Pierre was there, and then he didn't win his seat, and so couldn't be there. But now today, their first day back in the fall sitting, they were both there in the house. So, they did the obligatory like pretend to be friends and shake hands in the center and everything.
Yeah.
And then question period started.
Which means no answers were answered.
Yes, that is why it's question period, not question and answer period.
Not Q&A, it's just Q.
Yes. So the today's takeaway, Carney won't have it easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll define what the fuck that means because if they hold enough seats, you can argue all you want. If there's enough votes, anything will go through.
Well, there's a lot of unhappiness surrounding the budget or lack thereof. So in the fall sitting, he is going to be tabling a budget, um, of which, I mean, in the couple of days after the election, but before the fall or the spring break or summer break or whatever,
Yeah,
um, there were a few votes that, despite having enough people on paper, they still lost. Like I think the first two or three votes that the Liberals had come up, uh, they lost. So if all of their people don't show up and vote, it is possible that they can get outvoted, especially if like some of the other parties don't help prop them up like
yeah,
they used to.
yeah.
So this is a big one because if that happens when they table a budget and they get a vote of no confidence on the budget, that could mean an election.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
I
Why?
know
Why
that
not wait? I
there's
mean,
another
I'd
$570 million.
I'd prefer that 570 staying in Canada compared to us sending it anywhere else. But the
Yeah,
problem is, we're just gonna keep sending stuff somewhere else, and build
and
a
then
different,
have to do, but
bigger
yes,
deficit, but or deficit. But
yeah. I I mean I hope that if we had an election happen like that, that the results would flip because I think that there are a lot of people that are unhappy with Carney, which is why it sounds
yeah,
like he's going to have a hard time because like he's basically done fuck all in
yeah,
terms of like green lighting
helping.
any of the infrastructure projects that he said. Like he said that he's got the one thing, going, but it's like that was actually like started before you even fucking took power. It's just finally coming in now.
Yeah, and I
All
think a
you've
lot of
done,
people.
yeah, a bunch of bullshit. Like you have done fuck all against Trump. We still have ridiculous tariffs against us. We have dropped
Yeah,
basically all of the tariffs against the US.
can you go by JD yet?
So, well, no, because that's a provincial problem. So, like in Ontario, you can't, but like, other places that don't give a fuck, yeah, you can still buy it. Um,
Right, but that's also because of the tariffs, right? And
yeah,
all this and that. So we have a bunch of booze sitting in a warehouse, and we
yeah,
feed people
collecting
three
dust.
times the stock.
Thankfully, whiskey doesn't go bad.
Yeah, no, it actually gets better with age. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's just gonna taste better in 6 years when this is solved. But if
yeah,
there is a snap election, I do hope it swings the other way because
yeah,
I've chatted with a few people that we have difference of opinion on uh, most politics and most views on many things. But it's always been nice to have an open conversation and just be like,
yeah.
okay, we'll
Debate
agree
it.
to disagree and like drop the subject, right? And
Yeah,
no
debate
hard,
is
no foul.
healthy.
Yeah, and you know, prior to well, we can't do Polyev, Kearney's different, this, that. And
Yeah.
like now having a conversation with them, they're like, man, this Kearney guy's really fucking us. And I was like, I hate to say I told you so, but like,
Well,
I'm like,
that like
and
even if he is different,
yeah,
look at the people that are in the party that were running. It was like like almost all of his cabinet ministers are the same cabinet ministers. They've shuffled
yeah.
them around, but
Or
it's the
they've made it
same.
worse. Look at our public
Yeah,
safety minister now. Put Bill
yeah,
Blair in. At least that guy knows how to drink.
yeah,
And he probably eats bacon compared to
yeah.
ours now.
Where is
Doesn't
he on this
understand.
whole JD problem? Because like he could
Yeah.
solve that. Or maybe he just gets like those diplomatic pouches coming across the border with a
Yeah.
few bottles every few
Yeah,
days.
either that or you get someone to pick it up in
Yeah,
Saskatchewan or Quebec or
yeah.
any other province and gets them flown in.
But like in the fucking housing guy today or whatever did the speech in front of like those 200 square foot cubicles. Like that's what they're doing. Like we have like millions of people that need houses, and they're gonna have maybe a few 100,000 tiny square 200 like things for like some ridiculous fucking amount of money. Like,
Right. And I mean, so I've heard of a few programs, and one of them is I want to say it's like Gatineau, Hull, Elmer area. Someone got something approved where
they're gonna
there's
just
a
glass it.
No, so
Oh,
there's a lot of homeless
man.
people. So they've gotten like a 6x10 trailer
Yeah,
and they've kind of refabbed it to like you've got a hot plate, like
yeah,
somewhere to sit and a bed. And it's, and they're kind of like stay clean, they've got like uh what's it called? Like not public itself, but like general area to go like shower, use the
yeah.
bathroom, this,
So
that.
there's
But
a
like,
few of those around in this
yeah,
area, like where they have like little tiny homes, and then like yeah, there's a communal bathroom shower facility that they can
yeah.
use. Except that
And
like part of the problem
it's
with those is that
you're
like
not fixing the problem, you're band-aiding the problem.
you're not even band-aiding it. In some ways, you're making it so much worse because now you have people that are dealing with mental health issues and substance abuse issues all congregated in one place and they like feed off of each other.
Yeah.
And so now where you would have like a single person that was homeless maybe hiding out in this little alley
Yeah, on
and
a
more
park
or
bench
less
at
keep
5:30 in the
yeah,
morning.
but more or less keeping to themselves and not
Yeah.
causing a problem. Now they're there with other people and like
Yeah.
it's becoming a problem and like
Yeah.
it becomes not clean, it becomes not safe very quickly for some of them.
Yeah.
And that's not helping, but like, there's a massive housing crisis like even for like people that could afford something if things were affordable. It doesn't exist. So their program is to build these like modular homes, except that like they're not affordable and they aren't building near enough of them to actually have any sort of significance. Meanwhile, they continue to like import another million people into this country.
Yeah.
So, not enough homes. We're not building enough homes. We're not making them affordable. And now there are going to be even more people competing for them.
Yeah. And I mean, we can also go down the whole rabbit hole of like people don't buy a home unless it has a certain set of standards,
Yeah.
right? Like if it's you, your significant other, one child and a dog, a 5 bedroom, 4 bathroom house is not required to own a house or, something.
Yeah.
Um, so, like there needs to be some give and take on that. Like, yes, you should be able to live comfortably, right? So you need a bathroom, preferably two if you're more than one person that lives in the house, in case you guys both had McDonald's on the way home. Um, you know, you only really need one shower slash bathtub. You can take turns showering. Um, Square footage, everybody likes their things like, oh, but I can't set up my surround sound. And it's like, okay, but you can buy a house where you can't use your surround sound and it still fits the criteria of everything.
Yeah.
So I think there's also a giant disconnect for that, right? Because like my house is too small for everything I want, but everything that's needed, it's my place. It's my house. I can make this work. Yes, there's some things I haven't used in a while, some stuff put away for when we expand, whether we pour foundation, we expand upstairs, we do this and that and everything. So I think part of that is also whatever, but also I don't think a townhome should be going for $1.6 million.
No, it shouldn't.
No. So
Yeah.
there's also that giant shit show of whatever these prices are coming from. Like the house I'm in, I find I overpaid for it, but I'm like,
But
and I'm
that's what the
like, got,
market is, and that's the
yeah,
problem. Like,
yeah,
yeah. But and that's the whole like they're supposed to be like if they start building more homes and the homes are affordable, it's going to bring the price of everything down because now they're like supply basic supply and demand. Like,
yeah,
but until they get to that point, it's not. And like what they're building isn't affordable. So like it none of this is helping, but they keep saying that it is, and it's just making things worse. So
yeah,
they got
right,
hammered today in the House, and rightly so, because fuck those guys.
yeah,
But they're finally back to work, which is good because like they
because
get
we've been,
paid the same
yeah,
salary whether they're there or not. But between like the proroguing of Parliament so that the Liberals could decide on a leader for 2 months, 3 months, and then the election, and then the summer
Proroguing.
holidays,
Yeah.
they've
Everybody still
barely
got paid.
fucking they've barely fucking worked this year. And like the
Yeah.
government that governs least governs best. So like not complaining per se, but
Yeah.
also like maybe they shouldn't get paid if they're not sitting. Like
Yeah.
maybe that would actually make them want to show up and do their fucking jobs.
Yeah. Right. Because we're at the point where it's like, oh, this cost everything. Right. Like,
Well,
I mean, I'd rather pay the same in taxes and then not get ass raped with a new
yeah,
legislation or whatever that's going to cost me more. But also, can we just find a way to not
yeah,
waste funds? Like,
yeah.
can we
Well,
figure out how to get smarter with spending tax dollars?
yeah,
Which we can,
I
but
think New
nobody wants to.
Hampshire has it where like if the politicians don't sit, they don't get paid. So like they're not necessarily like salaried. I'd have to look more into it. So like nobody fact check me on this. But like if they're not sitting, they don't get paid. So if they just take time off or they aren't there when they should be, they don't get paid for that day.
That I'm good with that. But I'm also all up for a reasonable vacation package and sick
Yeah.
days. Just like if I work somewhere, you get 2, 3, 4 weeks of vacation, certain amount of 6 days. Like, fine,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
do that.
Well, it
You
should be
know,
treated like a job, right? Like you get
yeah,
vacation, you get, but like you don't just get to like fuck off and not show up when you're supposed to
yeah,
be there.
yeah,
And
and
like,
then it not be reflected on your review, you being able to keep your seat, your
yeah,
paycheck. I cannot not go to work for 6 months
yeah,
and still collect the check
yeah.
every
They
two
might be
weeks.
like, we're not going to fire you, but if you're going to take that much time off, we're not going to pay you for that time off
Yeah,
either. Like, here's your
right.
entitlements, and
Yeah,
that's all you get. So here's your like 2 weeks pay
yeah,
for your vacation. Yeah, the
and
rest of that's on you.
yeah, right.
Good luck.
And I'm not opposed. Yeah, and I'm all
Huh.
up for a fair, right?
Oh yeah.
Especially if we're talking about someone that's from BC or any far place and they have to travel to Ontario, so they live somewhere here, so they're very far away from their family, or they bring their
But
family. But let's just say they own a house and the family stays there. So
yeah,
I'm
but
all
that's
up
also
for
part
like,
of the job, right? Like they signed
yeah,
up for it. So
yeah,
fucking show up to work. You
yeah,
fucks.
yeah.
Um, one good thing. One good thing. Alberta
And
to
of course, it
become
has nothing to do with Ontario.
yeah, no, fuck no. Alberta to become first province with mandatory citizenship markers on driver's licenses. So your citizenship, your health card number, driver's license ID cards to roll out in late 2026. This is brilliant. I
Yep,
think we should have done this here. Like our health card and our driver's license are starting to look the same, and it's all the same picture now in Ontario.
yep.
So like you can go and do the thing and all like at least the provincial systems are like finally like
Semi sort
connected.
of. Yeah,
They still don't seem to want to share a whole lot of information, but they'll at least you could use one picture for the thing
yeah,
and get it all done at the same place at the same time. So that's a
yeah.
massive step forward in Ontario. But here it is in Alberta, it's just like, how about we just have one card for everything? Fucking brilliant. And like
Yep.
this way, when people go to vote and they have to show their ID,
Yep.
it's going to let people know if they're a citizen or not. If all
Yep.
they've got is their driver's license when they go to the hospital, here you go. It has all of my information on it.
Yep. Here's one card. Why do I got to carry two cards? In case I
Yeah,
get pulled over or in case I get into an accident? Why can't it just be one card? And if you're not a citizen, fine, you can get the
yeah,
same card that, and I'm not opposed to like, a citizenship card. So if you're a Canadian citizen, you can vote, you can do this, you can do that, or you're here on a work visa or whatever,
yeah,
and you get a driver's license and you get benefits or whatever. Fine, make two different cards.
yeah,
This one means this. This one means they're legal to be here and they get
yeah,
coverage, but they don't get all the benefits like certain
yeah,
things. So, problem solved. Make one blue
yeah,
and make one gray, or maybe, I don't know, pick two
yeah.
fucking
And
complete opposite colors, yellow and purple.
yeah, I
Like,
mean, like we had that with
different.
our student ID cards. Like if we paid for the bus program or we didn't pay for the bus program, they used a different color background in the
Hmm.
photo so you could show your student card to the local bus driver and look
And
at it and go, "Oh, okay, yeah, you get to ride the bus for free." because it's already
Yeah.
been paid for.
Yeah.
But like, I think this is brilliant. Now, I understand how there are some people that have some concerns
Uh,
over all of this, but also like, as long as this isn't used to discriminate people in a bad way, it should absolutely be used to discriminate against people because discrimination in and of itself is not bad. We discriminate
Yeah.
against things all the time. If
Yep.
you don't like pineapple on your pizza, you are discriminating against it. So
Yeah.
I think you're wrong, but that is your right to do so because pineapple
Yeah.
does belong on pizza.
No,
But
no, it does not.
discrimination in and of itself is not wrong. It depends on like the criteria and all of the
Yeah.
things. So we shouldn't discriminate against people that are not citizens in some instances, but in others, we absolutely
Yeah.
should. They don't get to vote. They don't get our free healthcare,
Yeah.
air quotes for the listening audience, right? They don't get those things. Also, they should not be treated differently when it comes to applying the law. And that
Yep.
goes both ways. They shouldn't go easy on them
Yeah.
because they're waiting for their citizenship. And it's like, well, like, fuck right off.
Yeah.
Like if you commit a crime here and you're waiting for citizenship, we're not going to go easy on you because it might affect your citizenship. It absolutely should affect your citizenship because we
Yeah.
don't want, like, we have enough citizens that are
Yeah.
criminals. We don't need to import more criminals. We should be exporting the ones that are not citizens because they don't have a
Yeah.
right to be here.
No, they have a right to stand trial and this, that. And I mean, to a certain extent, even on that point, right? Like someone that's just here visiting, like,
Yeah,
so just get out, right? Unless we're
yeah.
talking murder charges or whatever, but like,
Even
little
that.
things like yeah, like murder. I mean, yeah, no, don't extradite anybody for that. Like, no, murder. You've caused great bodily harm.
Oh,
You influence that 12-year-old to go around with a hammer or whatever. Like, you should be held to
no,
whatever
no,
standard
no, no.
and either
They go to
penalty or get out.
they go to trial. If they get found guilty, they just send them home. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't
and
want to pay
banned
for it.
from
They're not. Yeah.
re-entering.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Like
yeah,
there are consequences, and the consequences is we are going to
yeah,
forcibly put you on an airplane and send you home. Then
mhm,
you're wherever you're from's problem, and I don't care after that
yeah,
because you can't
yeah,
be here no more. You've proven you can't be trusted. You can't be part of this
yeah,
country, this society. You're gone.
yeah,
I don't like if you litter, like pay the fine, then fine. I
yeah.
don't like,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah, I'm not saying if you're
yeah,
you have the windows
yeah,
down and the wind's just good and like
yeah,
that napkin in your cup holder
yeah,
that's not
blows
really
up.
there
Get
like blows
out,
out like
get
yeah
out.
we send you back to Venezuela where you can get chopped up in pieces like no okay
No,
like that's what I'm saying like depending on what it is but like yeah if you commit something
yeah,
that would land you in jail if you were a citizen or out on bail on the same day, depending on the crime, which is all of them in this
yeah.
country. But yeah,
I mean, and
absolutely. Go back. You can attempt to reapply. If it's nothing crazy serious, but it's just like, hey, go smarten up, go grow up a little bit.
well,
You can come back in 5 years and we can reassess this situation.
yeah. I
Now
mean,
you can
okay,
take our rules and regulations seriously. Then
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, get them the fuck out. We
yeah.
should
Well,
do
and
that with even Canadians, in my opinion. But that's beside the
as
point.
per usual, the problem is bringing up another good point here. There is a risk though that all of your data is in one place. So if it gets stolen, they have all, but I mean, who doesn't keep their driver's license and their health card and all of the things in their wallet anyway? So if you lose your wallet or your wallet gets stolen, chances are it already has all of that information.
And fine, they're on two cards in Ontario, but you go to Service Ontario to get
Well, yeah, so
whether it be your driver's license.
if
Like,
someone gets into the computer system, they've got it. But I
yeah,
like
like
if I lose
they're
my driver's license, they don't have my health card number.
no, but they can probably do whatever.
So, yeah. I think it's a good thing that yes, obviously there's always some inherent risk in anything, but I think this is a step in the right direction. I
Yeah,
like the way that they're doing this. I think it can be used for more good than bad. So yeah, I fully
Yeah,
support this.
yeah. I mean, I'll let them try it out, and then
Yeah,
we can push to get it way
yeah,
more out here. But it seems like a good idea. I'm not opposed to the idea. I mean, yes, the problem did bring up something about like, hey, you've got one card, you've got everything. But
yeah.
if they get my driver's license or whatever, I mean, it's a piece of ID. They can get all your info, but getting all your info is very easy nowadays. That
Yeah, well, it's
uh,
because everyone just puts it on the TikToks and lets the Chinese have
that's
it. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's why I don't have fucking TikTok.
yeah. Um, this was an interesting one. So Mark
Well, this
Carney did
opened.
it, didn't it? It's just the video of him talking in the podcast or whatever he did. But Mark Carney was on a podcast or something, and they asked him about the gun buyback.
Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah,
And
I saw clips about this.
yeah,
I'm not gonna listen to it because we're on, but like it's very sad because it's only a minute 38. So I know it's just gonna
well,
enrage me. It's not
so
like a 20-minute thing where I'm like he can say his point of view whether you disagree, but I'm like, oh, now I understand
well,
why you're that fucking retarded.
the interesting thing about all of this, and it started some controversy, and Gary Alphabet Soup last name, the one that protects terrorists and has to recuse himself, the safety minister that doesn't even know what a
Yes,
PAL is, that guy.
yeah, that guy.
Both of them have sort of said the same thing where they asked about this gun confiscation, and Mark Carney said that like, well, nobody's going around confiscating stuff. It's not a
Yet,
confiscation, it's a voluntary program,
yeah,
which confused a lot of people. So they had to kind of go and clarify this. So it's voluntary in that you can choose to turn in your assault weapon, as he called it, that are not for sport shooting or hunting or anything else,
anything, yeah,
and be compensated for it. Or
or
you can dispose of it or disable it. That's the voluntariness of it. So you can turn it in
yep,
for money, destroy it, and prove that you've destroyed it, or
yep,
prove that you have disabled it. Those are your options. So, like, it's not really voluntary because you have to do one of those things. There's no you keeping it like we could with previous things where like I may not be able to use the Tommy gun that I owned legally back in the early 60s.
but
And,
but you can still have
but
it.
it's mine. I don't have to do it. I don't have to destroy it. I don't have to disable it. I can keep it in my safe and keep it functional. I
Yeah,
just can't use it anywhere right now. But it's still mine until I die.
yes, and then they're not gonna bother transferring it to anybody, even if they have a
Yeah,
proper
but at least
license.
it's mine and I get to keep it.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, I think you should still be able to pass it on, and there was the ability to do some of that at one point in time. They
yeah,
wouldn't be able to use it, they'd still be able to just keep it in a safe somewhere,
yeah.
which is the
And keep
funny thing with people saying that, like, there are no assault rifles in Canada, except that there are. There are people that own
yep,
them legal, like actual assault rifles with the giggle switch, still
yep,
in civilian hands in Canada because they could
and
legally
still
own them in the 60s.
yep, and can still legally take them to certain ranges
Yeah,
and
if they get the
use them.
paperwork to transport them, they absolutely can. And there are
Yeah,
people that do have that because I've seen them.
yep, right. So like it's
Yeah.
possible, just like we have the paperwork that you can fill out to get a concealed carry in this country.
Yeah.
They just
It
don't approve
ex
nobody, right?
you can
So it's kind of
absolutely
like
get the
it's not
form and fill it out.
mandatory. It's
Yeah,
not
it
mandatory.
exists.
It's voluntary. It's
Yeah,
the
it
same, right?
exists.
Like it's there, but it's not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Well, then, like, yeah, there's no one going around confiscating things. And it's like, well, yeah, but they're not doing that yet because you guys haven't actually rolled out
Yeah,
the program yet.
yeah.
And legally, we don't have to do that for another year and a bit. We
Oh, did
have
they
until
did they extend the amnesty?
for some of it, it goes to like the 20 October 31, 2026, but
Okay, because
some of it,
I
not
thought
all
it
of
was
it.
yeah, right? Like that's the thing. I'm like, there's so many dates where I'm like,
Only the
which one
stuff on the
qualifies, which
first
one
one,
doesn't.
but not the second one, and all the thing. Like it's
Yeah,
very complicated on how this all works. But legally, we don't have to turn it in yet, so you can't come looking for it until like 1 second after that date,
yeah,
because that's when it expires, and I'm now illegally in possession.
yeah.
Um,
So buy nods before then.
yeah, but yes, they say that it is not mandatory, despite the fact that like it is. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not mandatory, but it's also not voluntary.
yeah. It's like you have some options, all of which are shitty.
Yes.
Um,
Uh, It'd be nice if one of them was at least conservative.
like I would if I could just hang on to it, I
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
I'd be like, okay,
Just keep it as is. Fine. You can't use it, but you can keep it as is. You can keep it
yeah,
on the wall behind you. You can keep it
yeah,
in your safe. You still need to follow the guidance of the
yeah,
laws of
yeah. I
storage for
can't do
those
it. I
things.
just need to hang out with it. That's fine with me.
Yep.
Um,
And I will just sit in my chair in my underwear and I'll touch it when I choose to do that and problem solved. But um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't agree.
Well, I was going to do this next one, but it seems that now I am paywalled and can't read the article. So, um, long story short, Canada borrowed $1 billion from China to pay for ferries in BC.
I'm not
Um,
paywalled. What do you want to know?
oh, well, I
Yeah.
am. I got nothing. Um,
Yeah. So liberals grilled over docs
yeah,
contradicting minister's statement on a 1 billion loan of Chinese ferries. Freeland
yeah,
has said
the
that while
boats.
she
Yeah,
stated conservatives to share the conservative conservatives' concerns and anger about the deal, her hands were tied jurisdictionally. Jurisdictionally.
jurisdictionally.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So,
Um,
yeah, but quick from what I understand is that like we borrowed $1 billion from China to buy ferries in BC.
Sounds
Chrystia
expensive.
Freeland lied about this.
Define lied.
Well, she said that she didn't have any say in where the money came from, like federally, that like we didn't do nothing about it, that like BC organized borrowing this money in order to do this. Except that it has now come out that the federal government absolutely did get involved in getting this loan so that like they could spend borrowed money on ferries to China
A
instead of
BC
buying.
ferry.
Yeah, so the boats that we need in BC are built in China and we borrowed money to build them rather than using Canadian companies to build ferries
Yeah.
because we want to support Canadian jobs
Yes.
and you should support Canadian jobs and products, but fuck
Yes.
you, we're going to go and spend it in China and all of the
Yeah.
things. And like that
And
totally has nothing to do with like the giant loan or whatever that Brookfield took out from China as well. And we're totally not doing things that favor that because that would be dishonest. But
yeah.
yeah,
So does that
but
mean we
proof
can
is
at least buy Chinese liquor at our LCBOs, but not American?
probably, yeah. We
Yeah.
can pick up a couple of cases at Tsingtao or like whatever that like three penis wine or whatever it is.
Yeah.
All the
But
good stuff.
we can't get JD
No, because
or
that would be racist. There's no Jack
actually
Daniels allowed.
no, they got rid of my brandy too, which doesn't even involve anything with the US. So I'm also very upset about that because
Well, that's
I was
stupid.
like, it's good. I looked at the bottle and I was like, it's not made in the US. We should be good. And I can't find it at any of the stores. So
Yeah.
I'll
Um,
have to do some research, but I'm not happy about it.
yeah, and the problem was also asking if we're going to talk about the whole Charlie Kirk
Kirk.
thing, and that's an
Oh,
interesting one because like
yeah.
it's not specifically Canadian, but it's not specifically American. There's definitely been
A
um,
lot of
a reaction worldwide as a result of
Yes.
it. Um,
I'm Yeah, I saw that comment and I just ignored it because I'm like, well,
well,
technically it's American and we try and keep American out, but I'm like, it, it's
it's
it's one of those things where I'm like, it can relate to anywhere.
well, I mean, there were some interesting things that have happened. I guess we'll briefly touch on it. I don't want to get too deep into it because, to be perfectly honest, um, I was never like what happened to him is absolutely horrible. It should never have happened, and people um should not be assassinated for their opinions and being public about their views
co- yeah,
within reason. I mean, if you're like a total crazy nut job that is calling for like the deaths of people, maybe you should be assassinated. But he wasn't doing that.
yeah,
He was trying to have open discourse and
dialogue.
debate,
Yeah,
which is kind of what we try to do here, although sometimes it may feel like it's not. We do welcome anyone onto the show. So if you
yep,
are a crazy leftist and you would like to come on and debate with us,
yep.
please do.
And yes,
Um,
please come tell us how our beards
yeah,
offend you.
yeah, we'd be happy to have you
Yeah,
on. But there were
yeah,
some
absolutely.
interesting reactions to that. Like in Edmonton, there was the concert there by Morgan Whalen,
Yep.
where they stopped
And
and like he did a thing and like it was very well received. But again, like that's Alberta, and
yeah,
Alberta is our
the
Texas,
most
and
US, the most
yeah,
US state in Canada.
and I would say
So,
like based on his values of being sort of like Southern and Christian and all of the things, it would resonate very
very
well in
well.
that part of
Yeah.
Canada. Other parts it might not, but like it is interesting seeing that and then sort of the different sort of like freedom of speech things that are popping up, especially when you look at like in contrast in the UK, people are getting arrested for waving Union Jacks because they want to express freedom and the ability to like share dank memes on the internet without going to jail,
Yeah. With
and
that lady we were talking about at the beginning
yeah,
of the show, or like the
yeah,
pre-show, right?
and
Like,
and I certainly think that like Canada, with all of the things that have happened under Trudeau, and that like there's a bunch of bills working their way through that I need to read more on the Canadian side and how they will impact us. We're moving in that direction, and like the way
of
that like
the US or the UK.
the UK,
Okay.
there's definitely
Just in case people got confused. I knew
yeah,
what you
yeah,
were
yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about,
like
but
politically and all like the direction it seems that like now that we have the governor of the Bank of England in charge of our country, he is moving towards that nonsense.
yeah,
And that is scary because how are you supposed to ever grow as a people, as a country, if you can't have open discourse? Like if you get
yeah,
arrested for sharing, like I mean, I'll be you shouldn't be celebrating the death of anyone. That is in poor
no,
taste. But I will also be perfectly honest and say that there are people that have died and I have celebrated it. But I would like to think that there's a difference because the
they
people
were
that
doing
I
really bad things.
celebrate their death are people that actually physically did bad things as opposed to just like said mean things.
Yeah. To your point of view, right? So like his big thing was uh he was a big supporter of the nuclear family. He liked to
Yes.
have open debates, right? So he did not go to college. And one of his big things, right? He didn't do anything past high school. And one of his big things was he liked to go on college campuses and have open debates. Yes,
Yeah.
obviously, um, he liked all his clippets or whatever made him look good. I'm sure he got schooled from time to time where someone brought up something and
Sure.
he was not right. But everything that I have seen and listened to, and I enjoyed watching his videos. Um,
Yeah,
well
I was
spoken.
never a big fan, but I also didn't dislike him, and I would agree that he
Yeah,
was. I don't think he ever really said anything super controversial. I think a lot of it
no,
was like if you would take like a half or two-thirds of a thing he said out of context, it could
Yeah,
sound very controversial.
yeah,
But if you
but
listen to the whole thing, it's
yeah,
not.
yeah, and he's just like, look, like we can, and he always said we can agree to disagree. This is why I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Explain why you think I'm wrong, and then they would challenge back and forth, or he'd just be like, okay, cool.
Well, yeah.
Like
I mean, it was
now
this.
I understand you a bit better, or that point of view a little bit better and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Well, it
not
was
many
along the
people.
same, like, I mean, Ben Shapiro does something similar where, like, he'll be in the middle there and he'll have, like, all
I
the
know, but
people jump in, and
every time I
Crowder
listen to
does the
Ben
same
Shapiro,
thing.
I gotta fucking reduce his speech speed by
Yeah, you
half.
got, yeah, instead of putting it
That
on, like,
motherfucker talks so goddamn fast. Like,
yeah, and instead
right?
of putting it,
It's
like, on audiobooks where I put it at, like, 1.25, I have to put
yeah,
him on, like, 0.75 to get him to, like, talk at a normal pace. But, like,
yeah,
Crowder
but
does it too, where he's done the same thing at the Change My Mind. And I like that all of these people are getting out
yep,
there and are
yeah,
trying to have open dialogue, and we shouldn't shut that down. So, like, yeah, while it is an American that had a thing happen in America, it certainly echoes into our
yeah, right,
realm because, I mean, Canada's got some weird issues along free speech and the fact that we don't have free speech,
yeah.
and that, like, certain classes are protected and that you can't say anything against them, like.
But then you can say anything
But that,
against a certain other class and it's
yeah.
okay. And yeah, so right, like that's the whole thing where I'm like, everything you said, like our free speech. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
like it's
I don't think we have free speech. I will
no,
be
we
held
don't. We
accountable
absolutely
for many
don't.
things I've said.
Yeah, and to
Um,
the point where now,
but
like, on the internet, like, if you said something 20 years ago that 20 years ago was totally fine and normal and legal, you could get
or
in trouble for it now, and you're like, give it,
yeah,
like, I,
that was 20 years ago.
yeah,
20 years ago I was 17,
yeah,
right? Like I was, at this
yeah.
age or whatever. Like,
But it
hey,
was
I've
like it
evolved
wasn't
from
it
then.
wasn't illegal back then. What I did
Yeah.
back then was fine. Like,
Yeah.
like, the AR that I owned yesterday was legal when I owned it, so you can't say that I committed a crime when I owned it
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Only
On
today
on
when I
May
don't turn it
19th.
in.
Yeah, on May
Yeah.
19th it was legal. On May 20th it was,
Exactly.
prohibited and now and
Yeah.
everything. So,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
didn't commit a crime
it's
yesterday. I might be committing a crime today, but
yeah.
yeah.
Um yeah, it was unfortunate. As
Yeah.
we were
I
chatting in our group chat, um I was like, "Oh, hopefully he makes it or whatever." And then that video was posted of everything and I was like,
well, and that's the,
if
like,
that guy makes it through, like I
that's the other
I don't
thing,
know.
man. Like,
Nobody
I
deserves that.
no, unless you're a pedo, in which case you
Yeah,
deserve
yeah,
worse.
yeah.
But, like,
Like nobody
people
that he
shouldn't
did.
be sharing videos, and, like, it's just, and
Yeah,
celebrating it. It's terrible.
yeah,
Don't don't do that, especially when, like, it's not like it's a thing where it's like someone that did something shitty gets getting, like, punished for it, and you're like, well, at least there's a certain sense of, like,
yeah.
vindication there where, like,
But I will
but
say the one of the nice things that has come out of this is all the videos of people that have celebrated or said bad things about it. Mostly people that have celebrated about it, get fired from their job, or the people
which,
that have posted videos right afterwards and saying this is a good thing, and then all of a sudden, 95% of their
yeah,
friends are just
which,
like, "I
I
can't
mean,
believe you said
again,
that." Like,
I, I mean, this is where, like, I mean, I've said it before a few times, but people don't understand what free speech actually means.
yeah,
So, like, you
no,
should be able to
nobody does.
say all of the things,
Yes,
but that
and
doesn't mean that there's no consequence. Free speech means that there's no consequence from the government,
legality. Yeah, there's no legality consequence.
right? But it doesn't mean that, like, society won't shun you or
Yeah,
ostracize you or kick you out of your tribe, or that,
yeah,
like, your employer might not fire you and things like
yeah.
that. And,
So
like,
all those things I'm good with, but what happened
yeah,
to him, for
yeah.
whether you disagree or agree with him, should never happen to anybody.
Well,
But yeah,
and
your friends not talking to you anymore because you said something and you want to, that's
this,
the hill
yeah,
you want to stand on. That's
Yeah,
a you need to
you've
accept that.
made a
Yeah.
position, you've voiced it publicly, which is your
Yep.
right, and then people are allowed to make their choice on it, much like people have made choices on whether they agreed or disagreed or liked him or thought he was a this or a that or whatever.
Yeah.
They're just doing the same thing based on your comments and your actions. But the one profound thing that I did see was that like the people that are celebrating this are also glorifying a school shooting because it did happen at a school.
Yeah. Right.
And
So
so
yeah, a place, a gathering. Yes,
how do
he had
you have the
security.
moral high ground
Mhm.
on any of that? But I don't know. I think that's enough American, but not American
Yeah.
politics. And
Yeah.
yeah, it should
So
never have happened. My heart goes out, and not like the Elon, my heart goes out, where I'm a
no,
Nazi. But I
no,
feel
but
bad for
I,
his family, and I feel bad for anyone that was there. And I feel
yeah,
bad for anyone that has to see that from anyone that it happened to.
yeah, right. I
I
mean,
don't care
he left
what side
two
you're
two
on.
small kids,
Yeah.
wanting to have an open conversation, and from everything I have seen and heard,
Yeah.
always willing to
Yeah.
agree to disagree, which is
Yeah.
what we should all learn to do. Um, does
Yeah.
did not deserve that in my opinion, but
Yeah. I
um,
am enjoying seeing that like it did not have its intended result. If anything, it has backfired drastically and has not
yes, there has
reduced his
been
voice, it has amplified it 1,000 times.
yes. So
And whether I like him or
hopefully,
not, or agreed with everything or not, the vast
yep,
majority of the principles that he stood for, I think, are good principles. Like going
yep,
back to like, a family unit and community and open
yep,
discourse. But yeah.
yep.
So when you're not here talking American and or Canadian politics, where can people find you?
Um, you can find us on, or you can find me on the Discom Accord. I am on there. I don't do much on there other than read stuff and the odd time reply. You can find me on Sunday nights on the Copycat CPP, the Canadian Prepper podcast, where we can talk about many different scenarios about being prepared for the shit show we talk about on Monday nights.
Excellent. You can find me for the most part on Instagram, UrbexGTA. I've been sharing the hell out of funny memes and terrible things that the government has done in my stories. So if that's your jam, look me up. Um, Also, apologies to Rod. Rod was going to be on the show, but those Chinese ferries in BC, they aren't there yet because there's a problem with the bank or something, and the money didn't get deposited in time. So he wasn't able to get from there to here. I think he thought we do this in person rather than over the internet. So that's where Rod is. So unfortunately, he didn't make it. But he promises that we'll get this all sorted out at some point soon. So don't worry. I would also like to remind everyone that you are a small fringe minority with unacceptable views.